You're watching 30 Minutes. Justice for Yingying from WCIA3 News.
Brent Christensen had been in Champaign-Urbana with his wife Michelle since 2013. The Wisconsin native originally planned to get his PhD at the U of I. He spent a lot of time in the Loomis Physics Lab, just a few blocks from Yingying's last known location.
Investigators knew Brent Christensen's car was seen picking up Yingying, but they didn't know what happened after that. While agents searched his apartment, U of I Police Detective Eric Stiverson and Special Agent Anthony Manganero were interviewing him.
Why am I under suspicion? Is it just my car, or is there anything else? I mean, talking about a very rare car.
They asked him where he was on the afternoon of June 9th.
I was either playing video games on my computer or taking an afternoon nap.
Eventually, the investigators tell him they don't buy his explanation.
You know that we didn't bring you all the way up here to talk about video games and what you had for lunch that day.
Yep.
Why do you think that we brought you up here?
Because the car I own was seen picking up a girl that's missing.
Christensen says he saw the surveillance video of the car, but he didn't see himself. The investigators continue to press him.
She told you she was going to 1 North, so where did you drop her off at?
Eventually, Christensen changed his tune, becoming nervous.
Maybe I'm getting my days mixed up then.
Okay.
I thought I drove around on Saturday. I did pick a girl up. I don't remember where.
Christensen insists he dropped her off a few blocks later. The cops ask him about his personal life. He tells them he and his wife Michelle are in an open relationship, and that the weekend of June 9th, she was out of town on a trip with another man. Christensen says he felt hurt and lonely and drove around campus that day to try and clear his head, but the investigators don't believe him.
We will find her. Now, when we find her is up to you, because you know and we know that she didn't just get out of your car.
Christensen is at a loss for words.
Where'd you take her, Brent? We need to find Yingying.
The interview ends with Christensen saying he wants a lawyer. When the cameras stopped rolling, the FBI detained Brent for a day while they were deciding whether to charge him with obstruction or lying to them. But he also told them something else. He had a girlfriend, Tara Bullis, who he called Bunny, and he had no idea FBI agents were already talking to her.
You just heard Christensen and his wife had an open relationship. She was dating someone. The woman Christensen started seeing would end up bringing him down.
Throughout the month of June, investigators were working 20-hour days, following up on tips and trying to find any sign they could of Yingying or her remains. They unearthed underground garbage bins in a Champaign park, checked an abandoned mine shaft in Douglas County, combed through hundreds of hours of surveillance footage, but investigators found no trace of the missing scholar. After the FBI let Christensen go, he returned to his daily life. He spent a lot of time with his girlfriend, Tara Bullis, but he had no idea she was secretly recording their conversations for the FBI.
You can talk to me about anything.
Bullis says she cared about Brent a lot and wanted to know whether the FBI's suspicions were true. The recorded conversation showed Christensen was obsessed with the investigation. He noted that the FBI was still following him and wouldn't give him back the things they took from his apartment. He told Bullis he was frustrated about that and his relationship with his wife.
I don't think you realize it. If this goes south.
What do you mean if this goes south? I thought they stopped following you.
They did, but like, they're not finding us. They're gonna get desperate, and happens if they come back to me.
Meanwhile, FBI forensic examiners were mining his computer and cell phone for clues. Text messages between Christensen and Bullis showed they were in a BDSM relationship. Christensen was dominant and Bullis was submissive. He often referred to her as my kitten.
I want us to see you.
Okay. I'll get rest, please.
Sweet dreams, Bunny. My kitten.
The FBI found Christensen and Bullis were members of the social media website FetLife. It's a place for people with certain fetishes to share their interests. Christensen also messaged another user talking about acting out a rape and abduction fantasy with a duffel bag. But they dug deeper into Christensen's digital history. He had already ordered a 6-foot-long duffel bag from Amazon. They found internet searches for articles about serial killers, human decomposition, how iPhone tracking works, and news articles about the investigation. He searched for literature on how to execute a perfect abduction fantasy. There was violent bondage porn on his computer. But Christensen didn't know what the FBI had. After weeks of unknowingly being under constant surveillance, he thought he was in the clear.
The FBI was about to get a massive break in the case, all because Brent Christensen couldn't stay away from the search for Yingying.